Here's what I've learned about dating after being a wife for 2.5 years and a mom for 1. So I recognize as I make this video that I am no super expert on wifedom and motherhood. I'm still growing, I'm still learning. I have a lot longer to go. And I love learning more about these things, and I fully intend that in some amount of years, I will feel like an expert in these areas. But what I know now is that I do have valuable information to share with those of you who are single and dating and looking for a future husband. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video as I break down what being a wife and mother has taught me about dating. I'm going to be covering the 3 most important things I've learned, and the third one is the most important, so make sure you stick around until the end. Lesson number 1 is that the 2 most important qualities to seek out in a man and live out yourself are growth and honesty. As I look back on my husband's and my relationship over the past 6 years, we've been together for 6 years, but married for 2.5, I can see that we have definitely become different people. We've grown, we've changed, we have built a business together, we became Christian, we became parents. There's so many different versions of us that have come out and things we've let go of in the past and stepped into. And I'm so grateful that we've grown together. But some people do grow apart. And I think some of that growing apart we can't control, and some of it maybe is a mystery. But I do think that there are some things that we can look at that can point to that you and a man will grow together. And that is when we look at those deeper values. And the 2 values, like I said at the beginning, that I want to focus on here are growth and honesty. Because when you both value those 2 things, you can ensure, and not just value, not just say that you value them, but you can see him living them out. And you can also see yourself living them out. It points to that you guys will both be taking steps forward together towards a shared goal. That's growth. And then for honesty, it will ensure that even if there's something you have to tell each other, a need that's uncomfortable to say, or a truth that might even be painful to hear, that you guys will prioritize sharing that with each other. Because without honesty, you don't really have a connection. So you want to be living out that honesty yourself, but also seeking a man who does the same. So even though Matt and I have changed so much, I see that because we valued growth and honesty, we've grown together. We've learned how to communicate better. We've learned how to handle parenthood as a team, and gosh, so many other things. And it's because we've had those 2 values side by side. I want to get more granular with you though and talk about what it really looks like to have growth as a value and honesty as a value as you are dating, like what to look for in a man. Because growth doesn't have to look like him being in a personal growth course, as the same personal growth course as you if you're into that, or him reading self-help books. It doesn't need to look like that, although it might. I would say that the more important aspects of growth are that when you get into a conflict, he can apologize, take responsibility for his part, and then change for the better. And again, as I'm saying this about what you're looking for, I'm also saying that these are things that you want to embody as well. And it also looks like a man who, to the best of his ability, is taking responsibility for his life. So he's taking positive steps forward. Maybe that's in his career or with his friends, with his health. Just you're wanting to see some growth and some determination in those areas. This doesn't mean that he's perfect. It doesn't mean that he has everything together. And this is something I want to touch on because I think sometimes in our culture, we get this message that we need a man who is all put together. He's got all his finances in order. He's got all his debt paid off. He's in a career that he's perfectly passionate about. He's built a business and he built his whole kingdom, and now you just get to be the princess inside of it. And yeah, that might be the case for some women that they step into that, but what I would recommend, and what I would say is that that's kind of like a fairy tale that sets us up to fail. So I wouldn't look for that. I'd look for an imperfect man who's taking steps forward every day to be better, because that's a man who you also get to build your kingdom together with, and grow together with, again, with those values of growth and honesty. Stop looking for a man who has his life all together and start looking for a man that you can grow with. And let's look at the value of honesty. So what you can look for to see if a man is honest is that he will tell you the truth even when it doesn't benefit him. He'll tell you something about his past that maybe he feels shame about, or maybe he'll tell you something that would scare some women away, and he's willing to reveal his heart that way to you. Now, don't expect that on the first date, but I'm saying as you get to know him, you see that he's revealing those deeper truths to you. And the way you can see it even on an earlier dating, you can see it in the way that he speaks about his last relationship and his ex. You can see it in the way he treats the waiter. You can see it in the way he treats his friends, his family. Do you see a pattern of honesty and integrity throughout different areas of his life, in the little ways and in the big ways? Because if someone is telling little white lies, sidestepping responsibility in the small ways, you can bet that they're going to do that in the big ways too. And again, we're not looking for like this perfect man, but even when he messes up, he can come back and own it and apologize. And that's such an important thing to look for. Lesson number 2 is that a husband should be 3 things. He should be a lover, a friend, and a teammate. So I think that sometimes in our culture, we over-romanticize dating. We put way too much attention and pressure on those early dates. Did he buy you flowers? Did he pay for the date? Did he do this small, minute thing? We make those little things mean a whole lot. And sometimes women can expect fireworks really early on. I agree there should be some of that. For sure, you should feel pursued. You should feel his interest. If he buys you flowers, beautiful. If he pays for a date, beautiful. I do think that's important. But when you're in the throes of marriage and starting a family together, here's what matters even more. That he can be a good teammate to you, and also that you guys have built a really solid friendship. Sometimes, and I wouldn't even say sometimes actually, in my experience, those are the most romantic things. And as you're dating, I really want you to sit with the weight of the decision that you are seeking to make. Not to make yourself nervous, but to understand that the decision of who you will marry is, I would say, one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life. You're deciding who's going to comfort you through the death of your closest loved ones. The one who will be next to you on those Saturday mornings while you are eating cereal quietly at the kitchen table. The man who will help you go to the bathroom after you've birthed a baby when your body feels so tender and is bleeding. It's such a vulnerable moment. It's those hard moments and those small moments that often get overlooked when we are over-romanticizing the dating process. And that's my problem with the over-romanticization of the dating process. So let's go back to those 3 things you should be looking for. A husband that can be a friend, a lover, and a teammate to you. So firstly, let's look at friendship. You are looking for a lifelong friend. A man who you love to dream with, to talk with, and to laugh with. Someone that you genuinely enjoy spending time with. You are looking for a lover, a man who you love being held in his arms, a man who you feel safe with, a man who you get to cuddle and be close to for the rest of your life. And lastly, and potentially most importantly, you are looking for a teammate, a man who will have a shared goal with you and take steps towards that every day, and who will seek to make your role easier within that. You know, as husband and wife, we have different roles within a relationship. As you have babies, inevitably, you guys will have different roles, but you want to each seek to support the other in their role, and that's how you know you have a good teammate. And just to make this a little more vivid for you for a moment, I want you to imagine that it is 1 a.m., you are exhausted. You just had a baby like a week ago and the baby is crying and he won't sleep and you're so tired, and you have a man next to you in bed who is Googling best ways to help a baby calm down and how to support your wife while she's breastfeeding. He's taking notes. He's looking at all the best information, and you feel so supported and so loved even in the midst of this really hard moment. And that is a real memory that I have from my postpartum. It was a moment that I felt was the most romantic moment of our relationship. And I just felt so loved, so seen, so supported. And like my heart just grew 10 sizes knowing that I have this man here who wants to support me in this really tender and hard moment. So how can you really discern as you're dating, if a man can be these three things? Well, I want you to look for, a man that you like spending time with, that's friend, a man you want to be close to, that's lover, a man who will work well and support you, that's teammate. But it's also really important to have uncomfortable conversations, come into dating with your non-negotiables clear and your future vision for your life clear, and don't avoid having those conversations. Don't skirt around the truth because you're scared of scaring a man away. You want to really come in, reveal your heart, be clear on what you want, and find a man who wants the same things and who's excited to build that life together. And of course, you're not going to know that right away. That's why it's important to pace yourself in dating and take your time. And these are actually all things that my husband and I teach inside of our Dating for Marriage program. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, check the description below, and I'll pin a comment at the top. There's a link where you can check out more details about our program, Dating for Marriage. And finally, the most important lesson that I'm so excited to share with you guys is lesson number 3. It is that you are a wife and a mother right now. So I know for me, in my phase of singleness, being a wife and mother felt very far away. But now that I am a wife and mother, it feels like those days of singleness were just yesterday. And I would guess that's how it's going to feel for you too. And what I can recognize now is that everything that I did in those days of singleness to prepare to be a wife and mother, unknowingly or knowingly, impact my life day to day right now. And that's the good things and the bad things. And so what I want you to do is imagine the wife and mother that you want to be in the future. Like, how would she hold herself? How would she act? How would she handle her emotions? How would she speak? It's kind of like looking at those internal aspects, but also looking at the external aspects as well. Like, do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Or how will you care for your home? How will you care for your baby? And once you have that vision crystallized and clear, you want to look at the gap between where you are now and where you want to be in the future. And even though you don't have the baby, you don't have the husband yet, take steps towards becoming that woman now, because that's going to support you so much in actually becoming that. And once you do become that, because being a wife and mother, there's so many skills that go into that. I mean, even now, my baby's almost 1, so it's been such a crash course in becoming a mom. And of course, some of those things you can only learn on the job, but I'd say actually a lot of them we can learn before. And I think that it's unfortunate that we're not putting more emphasis on that for women who are single. So here are some things that I prioritize in my singleness that have really supported me as a wife and mother now. We'll go through this list, and then we'll go through the opposite list, things I wish I prioritized, because I just want to make this a little more concrete for you. So I'm going to read my notes here. It is building an online business so that I can have flexible hours and work from home as a mom. So my husband and I have built this business, and I don't work that much so that I can be a full-time mom, but it's also so amazing that I can plug into work, I can be creative, I can share, and I'm so grateful that I started creating that many years before I ever met my husband and many years before I was a mom. So that's been great for me. Next one is learning how to love and respect men so I can love my husband well. I think oftentimes there's a big gap, there was for me, in understanding how to respect a man and be a friend to a man and be in a loving relationship with a man. So this again is something we teach inside of our program, but I'm so grateful that I took the time to unlearn unhelpful ways I was relating to men and heal wounds on my heart, and then relate to men in a better way before I ever met my husband, so that we could have a good relationship really from the get-go. Okay, next is practicing voicing my feelings, needs, and desires so that I can have a relationship that's fulfilling for me. Next, more practically, learning how to cook and bake to provide healthy and delicious food for myself and my future family. And then finally, creating a relationship with Jesus so that my life has deep meaning and so that I have someone to lean on in all circumstances, and so that my life is guided by the God who created the universe and who loves me. There's so many things that go into that last one. I couldn't just have one reason. I mean, there's so many more I could say that's been so enriching and so supportive as I step into being a wife and mother. And I don't know what I would do without my relationship with Jesus. All right, next list. Here are some things I wish that I prioritized more in my singleness, because I know it would have supported me more as I'm a mom and wife now. Number one is understanding my health and hormones as a woman so that I can prepare for pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. A lot of this stuff I was learning on the fly, and I think it just would have been really supportive to know more about that, get my blood work tested, get on the right vitamins. I didn't start doing that until really trying to conceive, and I just think it would have been helpful to do it earlier. Next is creating a consistent exercise plan so that when life gets busier, I already have that discipline set in stone. Next is learning how to keep a house clean and organized so that when more people fill the house, when you have kids, I have the skills to make our home feel good daily. This is a big one that I'm having to learn on the fly now. I'll tell you, I am a type B person. I'm trying to become a type A person, but organization and cleanliness, I've really been working hard to up my game and have a house that feels really good. Other things on this list that I didn't add is like just learning how to care for a baby, learning about childhood development, learning how to baby wear, learning about breastfeeding, learning about pregnancy and postpartum. There's so many things I could actually add to this list that I wasn't thinking. I was writing this down. You can take pieces of my list or just make your own, because it's really based off that vision of future wife and mother that you want to be. So here are 3 lessons that I've learned as I've stepped into being a wife and mother that really pertain to dating. So I hope that they're really helpful for you, and I really want to drive the point home that there's 2 aspects that are so important as you are trying to find a husband. And number 1 is being discerning. Discerning basically just means the ability to judge well. You want to judge men well. You want to choose men well, because again, that decision of who you're going to marry is one of the most important decisions that they'll ever make. But on the other side of that coin, you also want to work on embodying the woman who can be the wife and mother that she wants to be. Because as you take those baby steps towards becoming her, you're going to become more attractive to the type of man that you want to be with, and you're going to set yourself up well when you do take on those roles. And I think you're also going to feel more fulfilled. Like, you're not just waiting for that day to come. Like, that day is here. So start now. It's not too early. I hope these lessons were helpful. Go ahead and comment your biggest takeaway in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.